So in this video, we're going to look at multi-step equations and when these equations either have one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. So this is really for the middle school student, especially the 8th grade student and even some Algebra 1 students. So just look at this, we'll look at it and go through it step by step. So when we look in the green section, when we have one solution, that means that the variable is going to be equal to actually one constant, or one constant. So in this case here, we have 7x minus 3 is equal to 5x plus 5. And so what we have here is a multi-step equation. So we have a few steps to take to solve. What we want to do is, just like all of your equations, you want to get your constants on one side and your coefficients on the other side. So the constants are the numbers that don't have a variable next to them, and the coefficients are the numbers that are next to the variable. So 7 is a coefficient of x and 5 is a coefficient of x. That's how it's read. So what we can do here, we can go ahead and make a river going down, or just divide up the two sides. And since we don't have any terms that we can combine, that means on both sides, the left and the right side, that we can combine together, that means add or subtract together, because we can't combine 7x and 3 and we can't combine 5x and 5. That means you can't add them or subtract them together. So we have to combine going across the equal sign, and that means that we have to use the inverse property. Inverse property means if it's positive, you subtract. If it's negative, you would add. If it's multiplication, you divide. If it's division, you would multiply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the 5x, or subtract the 5x from both sides, because I want to get that 5 by itself. So I'm going to subtract 5x from 5x. I'm going to subtract 5x from 7x. Remember, these are the terms that we can combine together. So 7x minus 5x is 2x. 2x minus 3, bring down the minus 3. This is going to be equal to 5. Now we're at a two-step equation. Looks familiar? All right, so we have 2x minus 3 equals 5. Now that minus 3, we're going to add 3 to both sides. Because there's a minus 3, you have to use the inverse property to get rid of it. So we're going to add 3 to both sides here. And now what we have is 2x is equal to 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. The next step is 2x equals 8. We have to divide, because 2 is being multiplied times x. So we want to get x by itself. We want to isolate the variable. So we divide both sides by 2. And once we divide both sides by 2, we get our final answer for this. X is equal to, well, what's 8 divided by 2? 4. So this is a one solution problem. So one solution, going back, is x is equal to this constant. X is equal to 4. All right, let's go to the no solution now. So with the no solution, we'll follow similar steps. Let me just expand this here. We'll span this right there. And we're going to follow similar steps here. All right, so combine our like terms on both sides. Well, we don't have anything that is like 7x on the left side, because 3 does not have an x next to it. So we can't subtract 3 from 7x. And the same thing on the right side of the equation. We cannot add 5 to 7x. So guess what we have to do? We have to either add or subtract on both sides of the equal sign. So now, let's do this. Let's take 7x and subtract it from 7x. Well, guess what happens? When we subtract 7x from 7x, we're left with 0. So what we have is 0 minus 3 is equal to 5. So we have 0, I'm going to rewrite this. 0 minus 3 is equal to 5. We can add 3 to both sides. And what we have is, for our final answer, is 0 is equal to 8. Now, question, is 0 equal to 8? No, 0 is not equal to 8. So we'll just put in here 0 is not equal to 8. This actually is what is a no solution, because A is not equal to B In this case, 0 is not equal to 8. So this is no solution. And so when we have infinitely many solutions, actually it's going to be x, put that in red here, let's put that in red. X is equal to x. That means both sides are going to be equal to each other. So now, just like in the previous equations, we don't have anything we combine on both sides. Meaning that there's nothing you can do with 7x minus 3. That means you can't subtract 3 from 7x, and vice versa, or the same with negative 3 plus 7x. So we have to either add or subtract from both sides. So let's just add, change the color here. We're going to add 3 to both sides because this was a negative 3. And now we'll have 7x by itself. We have 7x by itself is now going to be equal to 7x. We can actually stop here and see that this is going to be infinitely many solutions. But if you wanted to continue on, what you can do is subtract 7x from both sides. And if you subtract 7x from both sides, you'll get 0. You get 0 over here, and what you're left with is 0 is equal to 0. Now it can be 0 is equal to 0. It can be 2 is equal to 0. It can be 2 is equal to 2, or it can be 3 is equal to 3. But as long as they're equal to each other on both sides, it's going to be infinitely many solutions. So once again, this is multi-step equations. When you have variables on both sides, the same variable on both sides, when you determine when the equation is either one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. So as I mentioned before, this is specifically for 8th graders and Algebra 1 students, but 7th graders can learn it also. So stay tuned for some more examples of equations like this.